interpreter ilento nje summary kanje mhlawumbe ne-forecast yakhona la ngivele ngi-understand khona.
Lapho
Ithi la ngivele ngi-understand khona kulawa ama-summary lawo.
yini enzima mlu understand
Like iyazi ngaze ngayibeka kanjani but nje ivele nje ingidida umqondo.
yabona nje le i-statement nje sokuqala nje lesi-clear as day kumina.
Yeah.
Because bayasho ukuthi euro lanyuka lathinta $1.08 ngo-April, i-7 week high $1.09, and then on March 22nd, that was March 22nd, and then following gains of 1.6% against the US dollar last month, which is March. And then the next statement, it's investors turned to the dollar on renewed fears over US inflation after a surprise announcement by OPEC Plus to cut production further, which could lead to potential rate hike by Federal Reserve at its next meeting. Naleso statement straightforward. The OPEC iphumile namhla izolo bathi bazokhathi production yo-oil abanciphisa supply. Kusho uma benciphisa supply, demand izosala iphezulu, futhi izonyuka iprice yo-oil. Aminyuka iprice yo-oil, it feeds into inflation because what sort of inflation does oil contribute to? Cost push inflation or commodity inflation. So that will feed into inflation. So inflation is high. If inflation is higher, that could result in what? In effect, actually hiking my interest rates up to try and tame inflation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ile nto le abayishoyo kulesi statement lesengiqeda usifunda.
Oh yeah, kahle that's why lento le ngathini, that's why ilokhi i-Euro USD iphula back ishona phezulu.
No, that is to support Euro USD ukuthi iqhubeke yehle. Leso statement. Because phela minyusa ama interest rate iFed. Ayithi iFed uyazi ukuthi i-Central Bank yase-US.
Yeah.
Yes, so iFed minyusa ama interest rates, then that means it will strengthen in dollar. Then if you continue to read, but elsewhere traders believe that the ECB or European Central Bank will keep raising interest rates in the months to come to combat inflation. The latest CPI report showed the Eurozone inflation slowed in March to an over-year low of 6.9% as energy prices dropped for the first time in 2 years, but the core index accelerated to a fresh all-time high of 5.7%. Last month, ECB President Lagarde said that the central bank was determined to get the inflation back on target, and it won't involve trade-offs despite the recent banking turmoil and risks of recession. Now, Leo statements did.
No, ngiyasibona.
So everything centers around inflation.
Yeah.
Inflation and how it will impact markets. Interest rates, how it will impact markets. If I understand futhi kahle, go back to the first video. Not the first video, but ku-YouTube lama video engiqeda ngiwakhiphe ngo-February March. Le video yokuqala where I broke down inflation and inflation interest rates. If you understand that video, uzoba ne-understanding yayo yonke enye into uma ufunda ama-statements. Because lawa nje ama-statements, they all referring to the njengoba besho nala ukuthini imarket ilindele ukuthi i-ECB izoqhubeka inyusa ama-interest rates, which means nakhona that will be positive for euro. Why? Because core inflation it hit all-time highs. So what does that mean? That means that inflation is not slowing down. What is core inflation? Core inflation is raw inflation or inflation that does not involve food prices and energy prices. Why? Because food and energy prices, they fluctuate a lot. Shuti core inflation gives us a better reading or indication of inflation. So if we core inflation, I say Europe, it hit all-time high of 5.7 last month. What does that mean for a central bank? I say Europe. Mele benzeni. Or what can we expect them to do?
If kanjani?
If core inflation inyukile yenza ama all-time highs, kuchaza ukuthini for i-central bank yase-Europe?
Inflation.
Inflation.
Okay, if inflation inyukile okusho phela ilento le euro izo-rise angithi.
Cha, i-central bank siyilindele ukuthi yenzeni. Asingasho ukuthi i-euro izo-rise. I-central bank siyilindele ukuthi yenzeni.
Kusho ukuthi izo-increase ama-interest rates phela.
If iqhubeka increase ama-interest rates kuzokwenzakalani kwi-euro?
Then should still i-euro
izoba supported.
Yeah, izoba supported.
And then mesiqhubeka sifunde statements thini sithi ECB President Lagarde said that the central bank was determined to get inflation back on target, and it won't involve trade-offs despite the recent banking turmoil and risks of recession. Chaza ukuthi by fire by force bazolwisana ne-inflation benze sure ukuthi iyafika ku-2% target, even though inyukile yak 5.7% last month, surprise higher, of which no lento ka oil le nayi nga-add futhi to inflation yase-Europe, especially if ne-Russia ingaqhamuka ukuthi hayi sesiyancisha u-oil wethu ezilentozana as i-Europe ngoba vele sebeyifakile i-price cap u-oil wase-Russia. So zonke lezo zinto lezo zizo-contribute to inflation. May-contribute to inflation zizodala ukuthini ukuthi i-central bank iqhubeke inyusa ama-interest rates njengoba besho ukuthi by fire by force they won't involve trade-offs or bazokwenza sure ukuthi benze njani bayalwisana ne-inflation until izibuyele ku-2% target, regardless of ukuthi bekune-banking turmoil. Yiphi i-banking turmoil abakhuluma ngayo? Ukucollapse kwe-Credit Suisse Bank izithengwa i-UBS nakho i-collapse a couple of weeks back. Ukucollapse kwe-SVB, which is the Silicon Valley Bank, le yaphesheya. So all those two banks that went underwater. So what does that mean? That means there is the risk or there is uncertainty in the market because of that. That is number one. Number two, risk of recession. What is risk of recession? Because the higher interest rates go, the more closer the economy gets to a recession. Why? Because if my interest rates enyuka, loan repayments abaphezulu, inkampani ziyabadiliza abasebenzi ngoba sekumele ikhokha ama-higher interest rates to ikweletu zazo, and obviously kuze bazosave i-company then ukusave ama-employees. So bazodiliza abasebenzi, bediliza abasebenzi, zonke nje lezo zinto zi-affect i-growth ye-economy. If i-growth ye-economy is going down, that can lead to a recession. So into abayishoyo ngaleso statement. But yonke leyo nto leyo ties back to that video le ngisho. If you understand that video of inflation and interest rates, it must be your Bible. You need to know it through and through. Mele mengibuza ngo-core inflation, mengikhuluma ngo-inflation nje ngathi uyakhuphuka, it should click immediately ukuthi i-central bank siyilindele ukuthi yenzeni. So that's how you need to understand. Once you understand those things, everything else will be simple. We market because it revolves around those things. It revolves around inflation, growth, interest rates, inflation, growth, interest rates, inflation, growth, interest rates.
Yeah.
So before you even rush to take a trades, a position, understand those basic fundamentals of Nakuzan, of economics, and then look understand it's okay. In as much as I was selling in Europe, but it still keeps rising. Why? Oh, now ABCD. There's a statement just so paragraph straight up, and it's understandable why Euro USD keeps rising. But does that change the overall bigger picture? No, it doesn't. Why? Because at the end of the day, dollar is a safe haven currency. So in short, recession, there is a financial crisis, dollar will be a safe haven. So that is why at the same time we're still looking to short Euro USD.
Yeah.
Because in short, ziyashuba.
Kumele ngibuke leya video leyana nje.
Kumele uyabo understand le inflation, the interest rates, ne target, why beze benyuse, why befuna ukuyisondeza i-target, why kunyuswa ama-interest rates if inflation iphezulu, why kwehliswa ama-interest rates if inflation below target. Yabo zonke lezo zinto, why kwenziwa i-quantitative tightening, why kwenziwa i-quantitative easing. If you understand zonke lezo zinto kumele uzazi. Kumele ngisho umuntu ekuvuse ebusuku kube into nje oyiculayo ngoba uyayi-understand, hayi ngoba uyikremile, but ngoba uyayi-understand and it makes sense. Uyibuka njengoba ngisho uyibuka abantu bayakhala Uyimanje nje bayakhala abantu isesiterbele ngitshena nje i-installment eseliyikhokha emotweni angazi sikhuphuke kangakanani. And mina I understand that why. Because inflation iphezulu lokho enyusa ama interest rates. Seliyasho ukuthi isingaphezulu kwale elaqala ukuyikhokha naleli ebikuyi budget yalo. But interest rates keep on rising. So zonke lezi mu understand leya video uzo understand nezinto ezenzakalayo in real life, which is why ngithi leya video ibaleke ngalo ndlela, because izinto that are happening in real life will make sense. Bebuya abantu bebuya kuyogrosa bekutshela hey ukudla sekuyabiza. You know why? Because inflation is high. Bekhale ngopetrol uyakhuphuka. You know why? Because OPEC is cutting oil supply. If they cutting oil supply, kuzowenzakalani? Uzonyuka iprice of oil. Mekunyuka iprice of oil and the price of petrol izonyuka.
Yeah.
If yehlile ntozana iprice of oil no uzobona sekulokho ekuthiwa hayi uzokwehla upetrol enyangeni ezayo. You understand those things. Why? Because you understand those basic economic principles. Then trading will be easier. Yabo? Then trading will be easier. Ngeke usalokhu ufuna ukuthatha ama trades nje just for the sake of taking trades. But uzokuso understand why kwenzeka ku-ABCD. Usuzokhona nokulinda ukuthi hayi awuthi ngilinde kancane.
No, hayi namhlanje ngizolala phe kwayo le video le.
Yeah, kumele ubuke yona nje we understand, digest it kahle.
Yeah.
Izokusiza impela.
Because
then from that
ngiyabuza ukuthi hayi man. Ngiyasibona i-spreadsheet la ngiyayenza i-trading plan but still EURUSD angakathathi i-position nje lokhu iyanyuka. Ne-GBP USD nje nayo.
But phela nakhona futhi remember ukuthi i-fundamental is for direction, then we use i-technical for a filter.
Yeah.
So ukuthi fundamental ikutshena ukuthi siyehla akusho ukuthi market kumele yehle njengamanje, but ukutshena ukuthi that is the direction. 6 months down the line sizobe sehla if i-fundamental iqhubeka ikusupporta lokho. But if wena usunayo i-direction based on i-fundamental, then uyayibuza musu analyzer u-Euro USD no GBP USD, uyayibuza okay, I'm looking to sell, where is the best level to sell? Now you're using technical as a filter. So fundamentals is for direction, technical analysis is for a filter.
Yeah.
And how do you use ama filters, whether it's support or resistance, supply or demand? Njoba nami ngina le supply level la ukuthi ngilinde ukuthi ibuye la Euro USD, and only then will I look to initiate a sell position. Upon retest of this level sengibona ukuthi imarket ireacta kanjani. Only then will I look to initiate a sell position, which is why at this moment I'm just watching.
Yeah.
And I'm just focusing on Euro AUD, of which yena naye, as I've been bullish on the Australian dollar this year, but I've been waiting for Euro AUD to come back to a level of supply first before I look to sell. So i-fundamental ayishintshile, but i-technical ayibingaka line up nani ne-fundamental. Mengithi ayika line up ngisho ukuthi ayikabuyi kwi-level la engafuna ukudayisa khona.
Yeah.
So yizo zonke izinto kumele u-understand ukuthi fundamental is long term. As long as ama-fundamental esakusupporta lokho, akusho ukuthi kumele senze njalo namhlanje osilandele into esitshenwa ama-fundamentals namhlanje.
Yeah. So cause ngiyabona nala kwi-forecast iyasho ukuthi i-expect ukuthi ifike ku $1.18 by end of this quarter.
Ilentozana
Euro USD.
Yeah. Ngithi yabona ke zonke lezo zinto.
Konje i-quarter ihamba in 3 months ne?
Yeah, 3 months. Sesikuyi-quarter second quarter nje manje.
Second
April.
quarter.
Yeah.
April, then March it's a third quarter.
Yeah, March is the third quarter.
Bese kuqala enye futhi.
Ngathi yabo umubuka ama-quarters aya ngokuya yehla.
Yeah.
Ngathi yabona nje uQ2 23 1.06 njengamanje sikuba seku 1.08 kwi-euro.
Yeah.
Ngathi ngibuyele ku-Euro USD. Seku 1.08 i-forecast yokuqala ithi by the end of the second quarter, so by around June, July. Akusho ukuthi izoba ilapho, but it's just the forecast 0.65. So 0.65 ukephi la? So somewhere around here. So it will be somewhere around here, second quarter. Third quarter, 0.480. 0.480. So obviously forecast is changing. So it's yes.
Yeah.
Fourth quarter, 0.3. So nje nakho lokho usungakusebenzisa as i-confluence, but based nalokho okunye bengikusho izona zinto kahle kahle kuyizona oyisebenzisayo. And then if usubuka ama-forecast laba nawo trading economics nawe ehambiselana nento oyibonayo, then uyazi okay, no, I'm most probably in the right direction with my forecast as well. Njoba nathi i-forecast i-EURUSD ilindele ukuthi yehle, but akusho ukuthi kumele yehle namhlanje. So these are the forecasts, these are the price levels abalindele kwi-euro.
Yeah.
Yabo? So fundamental should now be fundamentally the very same thing, but now the only patience is wait for the right time.
Then in confirming a technical,
yeah,
now
yes, wait, exactly. Okay, says we level is supply or level got resistance. Now let me look for a selling confirmation. Then I sell because I got change fundamental.
Then my ngafika kule level so uyifakile then shoot awungeni.
Awungeni uyalinda imarket i-formally structure futhi ikutshengisa ukuthi hayi nanti level engireacta kuyona.
Yeah.
But when i-direction yakho awuyishintshile uyazi ukuthi ngiyadayisa, but ngoba ngithi ngiyadayisa based on i-direction akusho ukuthi kumele ngidayise namhlanje. Ngingalinda ukuze ngidayise next month.
Hayi ukuthi udayise noma ikuphi.
Exactly, yes.
Because sometimes enye into ebuyingishayo leyo, like
exactly.
Uthi ngiyibonile ukuthi icishe yafika kwi-level but ayifikanga bese ngibona i-structure maybe double top 4 hours ngivele ngingena. Hey vele nyuke nami strong.
So nje yeah, so ingakho ithi use the higher time frames. Use the higher time frames. Patience. I know you want to make money, but use the higher time frames.
Yeah.
Use the higher time frames. And kuzokusiza lokho ukuthi wazi ukuthi okay, if monthly ufuna ukudayisa, then you look for my supply levels on the weekly time frame. After that, you look at supply levels on the what? On the daily time frame. And how do you look at supply and resistance levels? Mlu.
Yeah.
Kumele uwabuke nge-direction imarket esuke ihamba kuyona. So awuthi ngivule kwelinye i-chart. Euro, USD, FXCM, ukuphazamisa la. So ngichaza ukuthini mengithi uwabuka kanjani. If ngifuna ama-supply ngwafuna kwi-impulse ebheke ezansi. If ngifuna ama-supply levels engizodayisa wona ngwafuna kwi-impulse ebheke ezansi. If ngifuna ama-demand zones engizothenga kuwona ngwafuna kwi-demand level la imarket isinyuka.
Yeah.
So ngichaza ukuthini? Ngichaza ukuthi ngoba ubona nginalama arrows engiwafakile nje. So ngiyabuka ukuthi okay, le move le yehlayo la ku monthly iqale la phezulu, le nyukayo iqale la phansi. So if mina ngifuna ukudayisa kumele ama levels ami engizowafuna ukudayisa kuba ama levels ahambiselana nale lentozana,
nale impulse
ebheke ezansi. Yeah, so bonke supply bami kumele ngibafune kuleyo ndawo le. Awuthi ngicishe le extend. So kumele ngibafune kuleyo ndawo le. le impulse le bonke supply bamele ngibafune kule impulse
Yeah.
ngeke ngibe sengizobafuna ngathi nansi impulse yami le ndawo engiyi-highlightile enakhuzana iyona usupply nalo ku-weekly time frame lo la ngisho noma singaya ku-daily it will be the same thing. Okay, it's not good daily, but weekly, it is a supply. This area here, it is a supply level. So, ngeke mina sengizokwenza njani? Sengizothi hayi, ngizofuna ukumdayisa la euro USD, which is why waspike wangathi uyadayisa, but it keeps on pushing higher and higher. Why? Because njoba ngisho ukuthi you wanna sell at an area where there were sellers. So there was a lot of supply. Market supply was exceeding demand, which is why the price was dropping. Now, when demand was overseeding supply, we saw price go higher. So if ufuna ukudayisa, mele onke ama supply levels akho ephume kule move ebheke ezansi. Angazi noma uyayizwa lento engishoyo.
Because manje angithi ubone i-support and resistance. Izulu laduma kabuhlungu kanje.
Oh, izulu lelo.
Yeah, izulu. Man, athi ukubona i-support and resistance. Ufaka i-support kwi-lower low, then i-resistance kwi-lower high, ne?
Yeah.
Then my breakile kwi-support leyo, then ensuke usulindele i-retest. Back to leya lower low ka lesuke ikade ifomekile yayi-breaker. So kwesinye isikhathi ke ngibona i-breaker futhi inyuka izoyoshala ama-high la amadala kade wenzile ekuqaleni bese iyehla, then lapho yehla ngendlela enzima kabi. So leyo nto engibuza ukuthi imaphi kahlahla abalekile yilawa akuma-lows noma ilawa akuma-lower highs.
Ingakho mlungu ithi kumele imakethe uyibuke. Yabo lento engizama ukuchazela ngayo, ngizama uku-eliminate yonke lemibuzo le onayo njengamanje. Kumele uyibuke imakethe angithi siyazi ihambe iyehle kanje. Right?
Yeah.
Njoba ngichaza la. So wena mufuna ukudayisa mlu, awufuni ukubheka ama supply levels akule move enyukayo, because this imarket ngoba inyuka isitshenani if sibuka usupply no demand. Isitshena ukuthi in this point the reason why the price is going higher, demand was greater than supply. So kule move le enyukayo, you should only focus on supply level, on demand levels. Why? Because demand was higher than supply, which is why the market was pulling back.
Yeah.
So ngeke so mina yabo le move le enyukayo la eqala from le mcile arrow le la emarket enyukayo, angeke ngizofuna resistance la mina ngithi ngizodayisa kubona abakule move le enyukayo. Yonke into ngizoyifuna kule move eyehlayo. Why? Because in this move going lower there was evidence ukuthi supply was overseeding demand. So if supply is over exceeding demand, that means that prices will go lower. So I will only look for areas to sell euro USD. I will look left and look for ama supply levels akule move eyehlayo, which is nansi yokuqala i-supply level yami noma sengamdelete lo. Between these two arrows nansi yokuqala i-supply level yami valid, nansi yesibili ku euro USD. And I can go to a daily time frame and do the very same thing. I will not focus on this move up. This move up tells me that demand is higher than supply, so it is buyers here. So I will not look to sell where they are, or I will not look for a selling area where there is evidence that buyers were dominating. I will look for selling areas where it was evident that sellers were dominating. So ngisho sengiya daily ngizofuna ama supply kule leg ebheke ezansi. So if ngifuna ukudayisa, I want to look for supply levels on the leg or on the impulse leg going lower. If I want to buy, if let's say euro USD bengifuna ukumthenga, bengeke ngisebenzise ama levels ala kule move eyehlayo. No, bengizokwenza njani? Okay, this is the impulse move to the upside. Not necessarily an impulse move, but this is the move up, which means that demand is greater here than here. So if I'm looking to buy, I should look for demand level kuphi kule move enyukayo le. Then I can go to weekly, I can drop down to daily. Mengifika ku daily ngiyabo ukuthi okay, this is the what? This is a demand level that we have here ku daily. So that is where I would have looked to buy if I was buying euro.
Yeah.
Angazi ngiyayenza sense because lento ibaleke kabi and into engicede we notice and in the past couple of months ukuthi it is very easier once market usuyibuka kanjalo if uthi trade ngo supply or demand or order blocks yenza ngalendlela yokuthi if kuyi-supply ufuna ukudayisa, look for an impulse move to the downside. Start on the monthly time frame. Buka impulse move to the downside. Highlight those levels. Euro USD, we have a direction, right? Based on the fundamental. Njengoba now ushilo ukuthi fundamental itshenza sidayisa. But then sizodayisa. That is where technical analysis now comes in. Which is kumele sidayise. Sesiyabuka ukuthi okay, nansi impulse move to the downside. So kumele sibheke ama supply levels are within this impulse move. Nansi yokuqala khona la evident ku week. So ngilinda ukuthi ushaye la, and then now we also have confluence yalama forecast esiwathole ku trading economics la engiwafake in these red lines ukuthi balindele to euro USD wehle. So now it's only a matter of timing. Which okay, I need for the price or the markets to get to this level and then look to go short.
Yeah. No, ngiyayibona masichaza kanjalo yazi. Because mina ngiyibuka ngalendlela yama support and resistance. Ukuthi okay, yabo njengala ezihambile afike yenze high njengamanje.
Yeah, la.
Le. Then uma ibuya izothatha leyo level leyo kumele ngibuke ukuthi it's either ngiyasela noma if i-breaker above then angiseli. Yeah, ibuka kanjalo. Le ama supply and demand.
Yeah, understand, but nakhona if ukuthi ufuna ukuyidayisa ke, if uthi not if uthi ufuna uyidayisa, but if uthi ufuna ukusebenzisa u-support no resistance, o-support bakho bengabi la.
Yeah.
Bengabi kule region le from this move up or resistance bakho ufuna ukudayisa kubona futhi ufuna ukudayisa bengabi kule move kule region engi-highlighted bonke resistance bakho ababe la kule move or ama-retest awabe kule move eyehlayo. So lapho sesiyabuka angithi kan noma ngizodelete vele sesiyabuka lapho ukuthi okay nayi resistance.
Yeah.
Or support singaba resistance. If ukuthi sifuna ukutrade ngo support and resistance, sifuna ukwenza ama supply and demand. But yonke into emayelana nokudayisa engikushoyo ukuthi kumele siyithole kule move ehlayo. Akumele siyithole kule move ebinyuka. So this, in as much as it is resistance, but we can't because we are in an area where demand is over exceeding supply. So ama buyers la. So this in as much as it is a resistance level in the basic terms for umuntu trader nje anyhow, but now we want to position ourselves ngendlela right ukuthi sifuna ukudayisa la obekune evidence yokuthi they were sellers in control. Because our buyers are in control, which is why price is rising, because if demand is high, prices go up. And we know that Tina, we sell at a supply level. So supply is when prices are going lower. So that is why normal resistance to start la kule leg eyehlayo, and then we focus on those ones. If kuba sifuna ukwenza njani utrade ngo support and resistance, not ngama supply and demand. But asuthathi in this move up.
Yeah. No, sengiyayibona uma uyichaza kanjalo yazi.
So ngisho ungatrade ngo support and resistance, but asebenzisi le formula entsha. No, because that is part of a correction. That is part of a move up. That is part of a move that is dominated by demand. So we need areas where there was evidence of selling, and there is where the supply was higher, so prices were going lower. Ama levels ethu siwafuna lapho mesifuna ukudala. Opposite mesifuna ukuthenga, we do the opposite. Sifuna ukuthenga where price kulama impulse moves abebheke phezulu. That is where we look for what? For our supply and demand levels. That is where we look for our demand levels, or that is where we look for our support levels, because we always buy at support.
Yeah.
So
njengamanje ngiyayibona la uma ubeka i-resistance ikuyona njengamanje le resistance obeka kuyona.
Yeah, yes.
So
this is
mhlawumbe
sewuthi wena-ke ulindeke for i-entry yakho or i-confirmation yakho if isikule resistance le.
Yeah, ukuthi kwenzakalani. Then mawuthi i-closer above, then angiyithathi leyo, ngisaqhubeka ngicinga enye resistance.
Nanti resistance la kukwenza ungena kanjani, ingakho ungawufuni usupport and because ulayini. Kanti izone ngiyazi ukuthi i-rectangle, ngibuka within lo rectangle noma mhlawumbe ispike kancane ngaphezulu. Yabo kungakhona ukusebenza, but mekuline owodwa angazi ukuthi whether ya close, because kuyenzeka i-close ngaphezulu ibuye ivale ngaphansi the next day. Yabo, so kukwenza kanjani ama entries akho based on support and resistance. But mina bese ngenzela uku-understand, ngisho ukuthi utrade ngo-support and resistance akumele uzube u-supply and demand. I prefer u-supply and demand because supply and demand is basic economics. Njengoba sikhuluma nje ngo-supply and demand, it's basic economics. If inflation is higher, that means demand is high, which is why the prices are rising. Whatever prices are inflation if sesiya kwi-economy. So if demand is high, prices go up. But if demand is low and supply is high, prices go up. Which is why if ama central bank print imali eningi, yenze njani? Devaluisha i-price yaleyo currency le. Why? Because there's an oversupply of that money. So it devalues, it weakens that currency in terms of value. Yabo, so yingakho nala ngifuna yingakho athi ngifuna, but yingakho ngisebenzisa supply and demand, because I'm keeping it constant, because it goes with with the economics, and it helps if ngisho ngichaza ukuthi la bekudominate supply, which is why market ibiyehla, la kudominate i-demand, which is why market ibinyuka. So if ngifuna ukudayisa kumele ngibheke indaweni la bekudominate khona i-supply for ama levels ami, which ama resistance ami or ama supplies ami. If ngifuna ukuthenga kumele ngibheke la okudominate khona i-support, or la okudominate khona i-demand for ama support levels or ama demand levels ami.
So as for i-supply, kumele ngicinge i-level la khona okune candle engulfing.
Yes, engulfing, exactly.
I
know bearish engulfing. Yeah, and I know my la okune bearish engulfing. And for demand la okune bullish engulfing.